Good morning, friends. I am back. Today I am tackling the 12 by 12 pattern papers that we all have if you buy the collections, the 12 by 12 pattern packs that have these kinds of sheets in them. So I wanted to show you how I'm trying to use them and not waste them, because they're beautiful sheets. This sheet here in particular was gifted to me by a friend who doesn't do 12 by 12 scrapbooking, and she had bought a pattern paper and she gave me this one. So I looked at it, and this actually inspired the rest of what I'm planning on doing today. So first things first, I cut these little pieces out of the sheet. I teach French, so these will probably come in handy at some other point. And I also wanted to show you that you can use them as background paper. This was another 12 by 12 sheet, and I think it says Merry and Bright in the middle, but I don't tend to use purple at Christmas, so I decided, I don't actually tend to use purple at all. I decided to use it as the background page. I just cut my white cardstock down to 11 by 11 and stuck it down, and you can pretty much see the result. So the other way I like to use these large patterns is by taking my punches and punching out the parts that I will use. So that's kind of where we are right now. And you can see I just pulled out all of my circles. These are just in a little container on my desk. And I'm looking at these flowers, and I really like these too. So I think I'm gonna punch what's left of the paper that I can, and then I think I'm gonna try to fussy cut some of these little flowers. So I will put you on fast forward while I do that. It's confession time, friends. Purple is a color that I don't like to use in my scrapbooking, and I would consider this an ugly paper on the layers that it is purple, and a difficult to use paper because of that text in the middle. So I actually managed to use 2 little squares on my May Use Your Stash bingo sheet, which I am very happy about. All right, I am back. So off camera, I just basically cut all of these apart, and now you get to puzzle piece them back together. And I really like to do this, especially if you've got a very small photo. You can really manipulate the florals around the page. And I would even go so far as to probably throw in some circles in behind, just to really help blend it all together. And then these little pieces here are all that's left of the paper, and those. So I will put you on fast forward while I finish this all up. In the end, this was a really beautiful page. I'm really happy that I decided to use this paper. I loved the florals on it, but as I said, I do not like fussy cutting, and I knew looking at those florals that it would be a lot of sitting and fussy cutting. So I did that off camera because I think it probably took me about 40 minutes. And you can see me here just using the scraps to create a photo mat. And because a lot of this photo is going to be tucked behind the florals, I know that I can do it and kind of disguise the fact that I'm using little scrap pieces. You'll see there's a kind of a hole in the top of the photo mat there above our heads. And I end up just covering that over by strategically placing one of the floral pieces so that it covers it, just like that. And I'm just using my ATG because I managed to position everything, but then of course, you add, you subtract, you move, and incorporating those circles really helped fill in a lot of the gaps in the florals themselves. And I think the wreath of flowers ended up being just slightly bigger than it was on the original 12 by 12 page. And as I said, purple is not a go-to color for me. So this checked off a couple of different boxes for using my stash. Purple, while it is a very lovely color, is not a color I tend to use. And it just happened that I made this plan for this layout and I didn't have a photo in mind. And I was flipping through some old photos that my mom gave me recently, and it just looked like Krista's top matched perfectly. So it was meant to be. Here you can see me beefing up some of the sections of the wreath with some more circles. I'm really trying to make it all fit and not have too many of the same colored circles too close together. There's still a couple of holes that needed a little pop. So I grabbed my little circle stash there and started filling it in. This is a really great way to use your scraps or even some not really fantastic embellishments. And you can do it with mixing and matching as long as they're in a similar color family. But I actually pulled some clear stickers there because I was thinking I would put them in behind with the circles, but it ended up looking like it was going to be too much. So I opted not to do that. And this is where I pulled the title, which again, I didn't have any plan of using, but I love that it's green with this shade of purple. It looks really pretty. I like the way it pops against the rest of the layout. And this is one of those large titles that I just couldn't really use in my Project Life album. It's just too big. It would have taken up an entire 4x6 card. So I'm really trying to go through my drawers and my little bins of things and really trying to pull out all of the bits and pieces. I do, however, have an order on its way. I placed an order with scrapbook.com. I always do some sort of order in the summer, and it's usually to plan for the upcoming December daily and just to really look and see what I'm missing in my stash. So that order should be here in the coming weeks. So I'm just anchoring the other little bits and pieces down with some liquid glue. And that is more or less all of the big pieces done. I'm trying to figure out where I want to do a little bit of journaling, and I decide to do it right under the photo. I'm just going to hand journal because, again, I didn't really have a plan for this page. And I'm looking up at that upper left-hand corner thinking it's empty. So I will probably, off camera again, grab some little tiny word stickers or something and just stick them up there. Yeah, you can see me looking like it's empty up there. I need to fix it. This is a great thing to do if you've got all kinds of little bits and pieces of die cuts and things on your desk, as I often do. Yeah, the peach and light purple, I guess it's really mauve, and that tan combination with that tiny little tag that I threw in, I really like that. So I pulled my little spiral dish, which has all kinds of things in it, and it happened that I had like a peachy corally color. They're just circles that I used my regular hole punch to punch out, So if you're someone who likes to add little sprinkles around your page, but you don't want to invest in enamel dots, or you don't want to add the bulk of gems, just grab yourself a plain old hole punch and take some cardstock or pattern paper and just use it to create little sprinkly bits. That's essentially what that whole little spiral dish is full of. Just me not wasting a single scrap. I pulled out some of my Heidi Swapp spray, and I think there's another one over there. It's like a pale pinky corally color. And I don't usually do that, but I really like the way it looks. Okay, friends, I'm back. This layout took me a little longer than my normal 12-minute layout, but that's okay. I haven't done a 12 by 12 in quite a while, so it took me a couple of minutes to figure out what I wanted to do here. Off camera, I added some little glitter hearts from my little dish. I used that large title sheet that you saw me with here, and as you can see, there aren't many things left on it, so that's good. I used a picture of myself and my cousin Krista from, oh my gosh, like probably 15 years ago, maybe even longer. Yeah, and I also used 2 sheets of that 12 by 12 paper with that awkward thing in the middle. This is all the scrap that's left, and as you can see, I still have a couple of circles. I may or may not punch more circles out of these, and I will be keeping these to put on another layout. That's it for me for today. As always, thanks for coming to hang out with me, and I will see you next video. Bye for now.